Hey guys, guess what? Let's bring down the hats. So, yes, it is again just me, Sam Wallace, for this episode. So, next episode, we will have Sam Driscoll back. And boy, this was game 4 was a very eventful game. Some of the events, like one in the second period, it was very concerning, but we will get to that. But one thing for sure is we have a great partnership with SeatGeek. So remember, you get $20 off if you use promo code Caniac Report, all one word. I recommend you if you use it, if you haven't, because it can help. It can definitely help save money on tickets, whether it's to the hockey game Tuesday night or to any event that uses SeatGeek, whether it's a comedy show or a concert or whatever. So, yes. Another thing, too, is we have a link for donations. And uh, that link, if you want to donate, is both in our YouTube descriptions if you're watching us, and it is also in the descriptions wherever you get your podcasts, Apple, Spotify, whatever. And remember, if you are watching us on YouTube, remember hit that like button, hit subscribe, hit that notification bell so you never miss another episode. And also, if you're listening to us on Apple, Spotify, whatever, please leave a rating, a review. It really does help us out. And remember, since it's playoff time, we're doing an episode after every single game just because of how important every single game is. So, yeah, great win for the Hurricanes. Very, very happy. Although there is some concern, and there's just a couple things I want to get to that's been happening around the league here. I know in the last episode I covered my thoughts on the playoff series in the Eastern Conference. I'm going to focus on the Western Conference teams in this episode since it's just me on both of these episodes. So, the first series, again, just giving a little bit of a rundown, the Winnipeg St. Louis series. I think going into the series, the majority will have had Winnipeg probably coming away winning the series pretty handily, but St. Louis is making it a series, and they have been very good. And this is a team that has won 12 wins in a row at one point this season. So St. Louis is really bringing it to Winnipeg. They beat them in a very, very dominant game today, 5-1 against Winnipeg. And I can tell there are already questions surrounding Winnipeg's goalie and Connor Hellebuck. So definitely a more interesting series than probably it should have been, at least for Winnipeg's sake. For St. Louis, they're probably happy that they are actually tied with 4 games into the series. So they could actually win the series. We'll see how that series goes. The Dallas Colorado series, probably one of the most anticipated series heading in to the playoffs because these are two teams that are very, very good and very deep. And I mean, I think it's at a point in the series where everyone kind of expected what happened. It's a dead even series, 2 games, 2-2 series for both Dallas and Colorado. So it's going to be interesting. And I'm telling you, as a Canes fan, I love seeing the numbers of Mikko Rantanen in this playoff series because he only has 1 point, which is 1 assist, and he's a -4 heading into game 5. So he's been non existent for Dallas. Now, here's the thing, I still love the team, I just don't like the player. So, and I know I've said that here before on this episode, but whatever. So, a very tight series between Dallas and Colorado, and that's kind of what I expected. I expect that to be a 7-game series. Really do. Next series, probably to me the most surprising series, Vegas and Minnesota. A little bit like what I said with Winnipeg and St. Louis, but even with how good Vegas is, I think Vegas in the playoffs are I would argue heading into the playoffs more deadly because of the experience that they have. And Minnesota, yeah, they have Kaprizov, but notoriously, uh, that's where they've been getting the source of their goals is only from Kaprizov. But in this series, Minnesota is showing that they can skate with Vegas. And I will admit this, I really like Minnesota's team. I really, really do. They have a very great young crop of players, not just forwards or defensemen. Because in defensemen, you have Brock Faber, who is one of the best defensemen in the NHL, in my opinion. They also have Jonas Brodin, Jared Spurgeon on the back end. You have Gustafson in goal for Minnesota. And I mean, yeah, you have Kaprizov, the goal scorer, but you also have Matt Boldy, Marco Rossi. Like, this is a good Minnesota team, and they are taking it to Vegas. If they win against Vegas, boy, is that going to be an upset. So that's been a surprising series, but at the same time, good for Minnesota. I am pulling for Minnesota in that series. The next series that I want to just discuss, sorry, is the Vegas Edmonton series, and Vegas is up 2-1 against Edmonton. To me, just a little bit of a surprise because I just think Edmonton. You just can't count out. It's not Edmonton. You can't count out Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. Just can't. So LA being up 2-1, props to them. I mean, to me, these are two teams that are where their strength lies is the in the opposite direction of each other. The LA is a team that is known for its stingy defense and very good goaltending. Edmonton is not like that. They're known for their boisterous offense, but LA has been showing it to them. And part of the huge reason I think because of that series is because Stuart Skinner has not been doing good for Edmonton. So those are my quick thoughts on the teams out west. And another thing too I want to talk about now. This game happened the same night, Friday night, where we lost Game 4. But boy, was that a game! It was Washington Montreal game, and out of it came fines for both Josh Andersen from Montreal and Tom Wilson from Washington because it was both unsportsmanlike conduct. And boy, when I saw that brawl, I was like, dang, these teams do not like each other at all. So it's definitely a very interesting series. And as I am recording this right now, actually, is the Montreal Washington game is currently on. It's 0-0 in the first intermission as I am recording this, but boy, Montreal, if they win, they're going to make it a series. And I think out of all the series, I think there are quite a few fans in this series that could predict Montreal winning. I know the hockey guy predicted Montreal winning. I'm going for Montreal winning just because I think Carolina would have. Again, I know it's playoffs and I know every game is a battle, but I do think overall, compared to from Washington to Montreal, I do think Carolina will have an easier time against a team like Montreal than Washington. Because Washington is a big, buff, bruising team. Montreal, yeah, I mean, they do have a couple of big guys. Josh Anderson is definitely one of them, but they still have quite a few small guys in the likes of Cole Caulfield, Nick Suzuki. So it's a bit of a smaller team that I think Carolina can a little bit handle a little bit easy. But that game Friday, man, that was something. And again, I never saw the game because I was watching the Carolina New Jersey game, obviously, but I saw several clips and I'm like, man, that would have been a fun game to watch. So that's kind of it for stuff around the league. But now I'm going to talk about the Hurricanes here. And one thing I do want to talk about is we have a schedule on Tuesday. Obviously, we knew the game was going to be on Tuesday, but the time is 7:30 Tuesday. Thank goodness it's not a 6 p.m. game. I'm sure, and I'm happy it's not a 6 p.m. game. But 7:30 p.m. Game Five, back here in Raleigh. Boy, we are going to bring the house down, and I want us to because Hurricanes are going to need the fan support as usual, and I know us fans, we're going to bring it. We definitely are. It's going to be fun, and hopefully that's the game where we just finish it against New Jersey. Again, I predicted Carolina to win the series in 6, so I don't want it to go to 6 games, but I did predict it. So I'm hoping Carolina can win at home Tuesday because I think if they did, it benefit them a little bit, and it might benefit Andersen because currently we do not know his status. And I'll go ahead and talk about the injuries here now. On the New Jersey side of things, yeah, they're beat up on the blue line, and I think that showed. Honestly, I think in today's game against New Jersey, and also another thing too, when you have that many injuries on the blue line, at some point, depth is just not going to cover it. And I think that's what we saw in today's game with New Jersey. Like you could tell half of their defensemen were out, in my opinion. Because they had Brendan Dillon out, Luke Hughes, and uh oh gosh, there's another defenseman whose name I'm blanking. Kovacevic. That's the other defenseman. 3 defensemen out. So yeah, if I was a fan of New Jersey, I'd be like, yeah, this would be a hard game to win. And I just think injuries are really catching up to the Devils there. And obviously for Carolina, coming into the game, there weren't any injuries, but coming out, there was that injury to Frederick Andersen. Now, right before I recorded this, I heard Rob Brindamore post game, and he currently said that it will be evaluated by the time, well, yeah, by tomorrow because which is Monday as I'm recording this. So hopefully we get some good news, and I'll talk more about this later in the episode. But let's say Andersen is okay. I'm not saying he is, but if he is okay to play in Game 5, I personally would not play him. You're up 3-1 in the series. It's not. I don't think it's worth the risk to put Andersen out when, honestly, even though Kochetkov let in 1 goal, after that he bounced back pretty well, and you have home ice. So I play Kochetkov. I think it's an easy answer, to be honest, to play Kochetkov in Game 5, but we'll see how that goes. And another thing too is I know heading into this game, I made a poll on X on who you play, and the results are in. The majority, 65% of you guys who voted on our X poll, because there's a total of 85, 65% of you guys voted for Kachekov to play in Game 5. Or sorry, not Game 5, Game 4. Sorry, getting all my games mixed up. And 34% voted for Andersen. So we can tell majority kind of wanted to see Kochetkov in this game, and we did, but not in a way that we wanted to. So funny enough. And another thing too, lastly, is there is a Nikishkin update in the fact that Nikishkin's contract has been officially registered with the NHL. So his contract is now permanently set within the Hurricanes organization. I still don't think he plays. The only way he plays is if there's an injury. But I'm excited to see what he does. And he has, listen, the kid is still young. So I don't want to risk, I mean, obviously, Listen, I think if he got on the ice in a playoff game, he might do good, but he's also a rookie. So it's just, I don't know. I wouldn't be comfortable putting a guy like Nikishin in, no matter how good he is. He is a rookie. So I think we also need to keep that in mind as well. So I'm fine with the defensive pairs for right now. Obviously, we won, so you don't really mess anything up if you win. So that's pretty much it for hurricane stuff. And yeah, so I'm gonna get to a sponsor, and then we will recap game 4. The NBA 82 game grind is done, and now the real fun begins. The NBA playoffs are here, and it's time for all the high skates drama, clutch moments, and jaw dropping plays. I can't wait. If you're looking to make the playoffs even more exciting, DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered as an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Try placing a bet on your favorite player's performance. Will they drop 30 points, 40, or more? It's your call. Here's something special for first timers. New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Make it a playoff run to remember with DraftKings. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN. That's code THPN for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. New customers only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. All right, so right before, I think moments before game 4, we had a jumble of the lines. And obviously, Brendan Moore, he said, I think maybe an hour or so before the game, because it was released like right before the whole line changes. Is he said that there's no lineup changes. And honestly, when I heard that, I mean, I probably overreacted a little bit. I'll admit, I probably overreacted because I was just like, you lost the last game. And not to mention, Brozovic was partly responsible for the game winning goal that New Jersey made there at the last game. So I probably be like, what are you doing? But he was keeping it a secret, showing gamesmanship, and he did jumble the lines. So Brozovic, healthy scratch. Jankowski's in. I thought Jankowski actually played a pretty good game. And the fourth line was Robinson, Jankowski, Stankoven. Yeah, again, I thought that line was really good. Really, really good game. There were, I think, at least 2 shifts where they just kept New Jersey in their own zone throughout the game. And it was just really, really good line. And then you had the Stahl, Martinook, Carrier line that, oh man, I love that line whenever Brindamore puts Carrier with Stahl and Martinook. It's a good, heavy, grinding type of line. And we saw that line playing, I thought, very good as well. And to be honest, I thought game 4 was a one of those games where I think even though we didn't play exactly 60 minute hockey, and credit to New Jersey, like their backs are up against the wall. Like they're still gonna try and come out desperate. But regardless, I thought Carolina played pretty close to playing 60 minutes of hockey. Wasn't exactly, because there were moments where New Jersey was really putting Carolina on the brink there, but Carolina overall played a so much better of a game compared to the last game, because last game special teams was great. It's just 5-on-5 was not good. And even though the second period was better than the first because the first period was atrocious for Carolina the last game. It still wasn't at the level that we know it can be. Third period was their best, but it didn't last the entire period. So that was the issue in game three. But in game four, I mean, in the first period, Carolina dominated, and that's what we wanted because the last two games, the first period was controlled by the Devils. Carolina was like, no, we're not going to let that happen again. And I'm happy to see that. And I'm especially happy to see Svechnikov score. And I'll go ahead and finish out the lines because I realized I didn't complete the lines that Brindamore took to game four, but you had KK playing in between Hall and Jarvis. So that's an interesting line right there. I think that's actually a pretty good line. And then you had Svech, Aho, and Blake. And Svechnikov, boy, one of three goals tonight. Again, he played absolutely amazing. Uh, it's just, it's one of those games where it's like, that's how he can play. That's how good he can be. He just needs to be consistent with that. He needs to be consistent with that in the regular season and in the playoffs. And even though I think he's played very good in the playoffs here recently, uh, that's the type of play we need to see in the regular season. Because this past regular season, I did not think he was good, especially heading into the playoffs. I didn't think he was that good, even though he scored in the very last game. So I'm very happy for Svechnikov getting on the board, scoring. Great wrist shot. I think it was more of a shot that surprised Washington's goalie there. So, I mean, you get an assist from Burns and Blake. Another player that I thought played really good was Brent Burns. He was all over the ice. He played like we know how good he can play, especially the first season that we got him. I thought he played first season Burns. Let's just say that. And then, to me, the goal of the entire game was Slavin scoring. My gosh, he did to me. I mean, obviously, total three things in that play because it was just amazing. First, he kept the puck in, and it was Nason that tried to get the puck out, but Slavin, he used his stick to bat the puck down to the ice. Great play right there. Number two, he deked Nason to get the puck. And number three, he just found that gaping hole at the top left of the goal next to New Jersey's goaltender, and he scores. And he made a goal like that before, if you guys remember, from the playing series against the Rangers. So that was just a slick play. When I saw it, I was like, man, Slavin went into beast mode there. He really did. And then heading into the second period, I loved Carolina's game. Really did. Now, second period, a lot more concerning. Obviously, you have Svechnikov scoring from Jarvis and Aho, and that was on the power play. So, yeah, the special teams this series, Carolina has been dominant in. And they have, I believe haven't had New Jersey score a power play goal yet. I could be wrong about that. But New Jersey's penalty kill, sorry, not New Jersey, Carolina's penalty kill has been elite this series. And their power play, very good too. 1 for 3 today, and that's 33%. If your power play is 33%, that's good. Very, very good. So it's 3-0 Carolina. And to me, at that point, I was like, okay, I think the Hurricanes can win this. And again, Andersen starting in at this game too. So I was a little bit surprised by that. I thought we might see a check off this game, and we later did, but Andersen did start this game. And then you have Hishe scoring, and that was a goal. I mean, I don't know if Andersen saw the shot all the way, but regardless, Hishe was able to get. It was more of him finding the loose puck and scored on Andersen there. And then came the ultimate tragedy of Frederik Andersen as You have Timo Meyer, who has been dirty in this series. He really has. Going into the crease on his own terms, literally on his own terms. And there was a bit of an extension from his left arm. There really was. And he knocks Andersen out cold on the ice. And Andersen cannot finish the game. And that left, I'm sure, all of us listening to this concerned. It left me concerned. I was like, oh no. And at some point when he got up, I was like, wait, can he play for the rest of the game? But he couldn't. So Kochetkov came in. And when Kochetkov came in, I was like, oh boy, because heading into this game, we know his performance has been very, very bad. Even though he hasn't played a playoff game toward season's end, Kochetkov has not been playing good. So Kochetkov comes in, and another thing too, like, I mean, I'll give credit where credit's due here on the officiating side. They made it a major so they could review it, and I am happy that they were able to review it because they wanted to get it right. I'm happy about the process, but I'm not happy with the conclusion because he did come in on his own terms. Meyer definitely did. And I am surprised and shocked that there wasn't at least a minor penalty there. I understand if there wasn't a major penalty, but not a minor? When he skated into the crease, dead into the crease on his own terms. Like, what the heck? But regardless, you can tell New Jersey, or sorry, not New Jersey, Carolina was a little bit rattled from that because New Jersey, after that, was kind of bringing it to Carolina. And at that point, I was like, listen, I might not like the hit. I think there should have been a penalty there. But regardless, there needs to be somewhat of a physical response. And there eventually was. Because to me, I think part of kind of turning the tide, kind of not, but I think it was kind of turning the tide because it kind of was all New Jersey after that hit on Andersen. But Martinook, I remember when he came out on the ice, he came out and he had a mission of just hitting Palat to the ice. Now it's like, there we go. That's that physical response that we needed. And after that was when we delivered a series of hits. And just looking at this game here, real quick, I mean, I'm going to look at the hits because I believe the last time I saw, yeah, Carolina total 35 hits, New Jersey 31. So we out hit New Jersey. And this just shows to me, and I've said this before, when Carolina's on their game, there is a bit of physicality to that game. And we definitely, it took time, I thought, and I was frustrated because I was like, guys need a somewhat of a physical response. You just do. I'm not asking for a fight. I'm just asking for a little bit of some hits there. Hit just like good, clean hits. Because regardless, you need those hits in the playoffs. You just do. And Martinook, when he got on the ice and hit Palat, I was like, he's trying to turn the game to Carolina's favor. And I thought he did a very good job and might be one of my 3 stars of the game. Might be. We'll get to that. But regardless, though, when Kochetkov comes in, I mean, I did not like the Meyer goal. I really didn't. But, and I'm not saying this is an excuse for Kochetkov. It is a very tough situation for him because he has not played a single playoff game at this point. So he is like stone cold. You don't know what you're getting with Kochetkov. And he lets that Meyer goal in. Again, he should have saved it. I really think he should have. Now, I think part of that was Burns' fault for not handling the puck correctly. But regardless, Kochetkov, after that goal, he bounced back. And that is sometimes that's part of winning. You're going to have mistakes, but can you bounce back from those mistakes? And Kochetkov definitely bounced back. definitely did. So heading into the third period, it's 3-2 Carolina. I think us fans are kind of like are just a little bit uneasy because we're like, oh no, what's going on with Andersen? New Jersey, they could tie it. Like they could come out and win. And if they win this game, then it is a completely different series. It really is. Even though I still thought Carolina could win them in 6 games. But in the third period, I think that was when we saw a line change, and that line change was Jarvis on the line with Stahl and Martinuk. And I'm just like, okay. When I saw that line change, I was like, I mean, we've seen that line before, so I'm not freaking out about it. I think that was to me more of a line change of like maybe trying to protect Jarvis in some way, even though I think Jarvis obviously, even though he's small, he plays a 6'10" type of guy. Like he can steamroll you if he wanted to. But when I saw that line change of Jarvis playing with Stahl, Marnock, I kind of thought of like, okay, I wonder if Brandon was just trying to kind of protect the smaller guys on this team. So that was just my interpretation of it, even though Jarvis has played with Stahl multiple times. But regardless, Carolina, I mean, there were times where New Jersey kept Carolina in their own zone in that third period, but eventually Carolina, I mean, I thought third period was probably an even period at the most. I thought there were chances for both teams. And in the third period, you have Burns scoring. Funny enough, on the NHL app, when I saw that goal, they initially gave it to Martinuk. And I think they left it with Martinuk's goal for quite some time, and then they just gave it to Burns. So Burns scores a very leaky goal for Markstrom. Very leaky. So I think Markstrom, that's one of the goals that he has to have. But Burns 4-2, and I think that's when us fans were like, okay, Carolina should win this. It's 4-2, and when Burns scored too, he scored at the point of it was 6 minutes left in the game, I believe. Yeah, 6 minutes left in the game. So 4-2, 6 minutes left in the game. Carolina mostly has this game pretty sealed, and they eventually did seal it with Svechnikov scoring on an empty net, which gave him a hat trick. Uh, my only wish was New Jersey fans to throw down hats, but I understand why they didn't because they are New Jersey fans. But regardless, I'm so happy for Svech, and that is 2 hat tricks he has had in his playoff career for the Hurricanes, and that's an assist from Blake and Aho. So congrats to Svechnikov for getting the hat trick. I was so happy that he got it too, and he played a very, very good game. And part of the main reason I would say why I really loved about us winning this game is, I mean, we kind of did get our star players to get to produce. Like Svechnikov, he's a star player. I mean, even though he doesn't play like a star player, he's kind of in that role. So he played the role that he has kind of been given on this team because he's supposed to be a star player, even though he hasn't played like this in the regular season. He came out into this game, scored 3 goals. You got a couple assists from Aho, got an assist from Jarvis and Blake. Like, that's just amazing. And also with Slavin's goal, too, if you guys don't know this, Slavin's goal marks him as having the most goals by a D-man in franchise history with, I believe, 8 goals. So, congrats to Slavin. Love the guy. And also, for those of you who are just listening, I am actually wearing Svechnikov's jersey in this episode for the people on YouTube. So, that's part of the reason why I wanted to wear the jersey, because he was dynamite tonight. So, my 3 stars, since the Hurricanes did win this game. To me, number 3, actually, no, I'll give an honorable mention to Slavin. But to me, number 3 was Martinuk. I thought Martinuk had such a great game. And I think he was kind of part of the reason of letting New Jersey know, hey, we're not going to be pushed around. And I really appreciated that from him this game. I believe he got like 6 hits in total this game. So he loves playing against New Jersey. He just does. To me, the second star is going to be Brent Burns. I thought Brent Burns played an excellent game. Defensively, I thought he played an excellent game. I thought he was very good on the penalty kill. He obviously got the goal. Very, very good game from Brent Burns. And obviously, the first star is the man who got the hat trick, Andrei Svechnikov. Very, very happy for him. And just a couple of things heading into game 5 here back at Raleigh. I think one of the questions is goaltending. And I mean, if Andersen's okay, then that is a huge side reliever. Obviously, Brendan Moore didn't sound too optimistic about Andersen's condition, but I'd rather hear from a doctor on his condition than Brendan Moore. So we'll see what the doctor says about Andersen, obviously, and Brendan Moore will obviously relay that information to us probably sometime tomorrow on Monday. But goaltending is going to be a factor. And yes, I think if Andersen can play game 5, I would not let him play game 5 because even though Kochetkov did let in that Meyer goal, you're up 3-1 in the series. You don't want to risk Andersen getting hurt more than uh, what he is currently at right now in terms of uh, where he got hurt. So don't want to risk Andersen's health for game 5 because you're up 3-1. You really are. Now, if it was 3-3, then yeah, you probably do need to put Andersen in, but you're up 3-1. You have home ice. You got to put Kochetkov in my opinion. I think to me, that's probably the easiest decision amongst all the other games this series because I mean, do you really want to risk playing Andersen? I mean, I wouldn't, especially after taking a hit like that. So, if he's okay, that wonderful. I would not play him game 5. If he's not okay, then yeah, I mean, definitely you have to play Kochetkov at that point. There's no choice. But if there is a choice, regardless, I think it should be Kochetkov playing in game 5. Another thing about game 5, play like you did here today, game 4. If you play like you did game 4, you're going to win this game. This is a beaten up New Jersey team who has so many injuries on the blue line. They obviously have the Jack Hughes injuries too, but it's more evident on the blue line, I would say, than the Jack Hughes because you can tell injuries are really starting to get to New Jersey. And another thing too is, I mean, the fans, because the fans bring the atmosphere. So if you can come to this game and you're a Carolina fan, come because they're going to need our support. They're going to need us shouting, us just giving Carolina their all of our support because you can tell this is a team that really feeds on its fans. And just to show, Carolina, I believe, won like I think franchise best at home this season with 34 wins. So I'm very happy for the Hurricanes winning this game because I think this game put the dagger in New Jersey. I can't see New Jersey winning 3 straight games in a row. I just can't. And Carolina, we know how good at home they can be. So I think we can win at home. But regardless, we will see you guys after game number 5.